Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the Unison representatives for inviting me for this speech, since I can call myself one of the prehistoric UNISEC members. Uh, as Max introduced me, I'm Sevket and I work as a researcher at TU Delft. Today, I would like to talk about my experience with the Unison and UNISEC because I started as a student, and the presentations are there so you don't get bored. And then there is a little game that I placed in, so feel free to play it. Uh, so, as Max said, I'm a researcher at TU Delft, and I've been building satellites since 2010 when I was a bachelor student. Uh, I was part of these satellite projects that I'm showing on the screen. Most of them I worked as a student, and the Delphi PQ I worked as a lead engineer. And to come to this point, I still remember, for example, some of the meetings that I have attended. We were talking with Mengicho or uh, Nakatsuka Sensei to talk about like what to do with the satellites. They were asking difficult questions. And then as a student, I was just like checking it with awe. And then I was being inspired to do a bit more, or how can I contribute more? So that was our approach for the meeting. Then in 2013, when UNISEC was global, I joined it. Although I didn't attend the first meeting, we were in Turkey with Professor Aslan being part of the UNISEC, and then we were actually reaching out to other universities to set up the UNISEC Turkey back then. I have all the UNISEC global meeting photos as a group photo, and there is a tiny game. If you can find how many of these meetings I have attended, I promise you to get you a dinner whenever I see you in person in any of the meetings. So I will ask at the end. Uh, so as we went through the UNICEF global meetings, I met with a lot of people, but it's in a way like you can get close connections with every person that you are talking. And that's also why I like the UNICEF global. And I don't like the big conferences because in the UNICEF global, you can actually talk to every single person, and then you can get in touch and then get more personal with them. So a couple of these examples is also Rei Kawashima-san that I met years ago, and then every time we see each other, we just, at least I become so happy. I hope she also is happy to see me. And then also with the other students, we just make more connections, and then sometimes some of them evolve into future collaborations or projects, as in some people I met years ago, we are still in touch. And then when we need something or when we are in trouble or looking for partners to collaborate with, this gave us the opportunity to be able to contact each other rather quickly. And the way the UNISEC meetings actually happen, uh, from my point of view, it's like a family dinner. So it's like some of them are like a distant relatives. You see them like once a year, but when you see them, you know that you have a common connection. So it's just easier to start a conversation. That wasn't me. So it's just easier to start a conversation and then carry on where you left from the previous year. It's like every year, every time we meet, it's like opening a time capsule, and then we just start all over again. And then it's like we just had a meeting yesterday, and then we talk about how it was, what are you doing, or like what have you done so far. And at the end, we just also make fun of each other, depending on our successes or our failures. Of course, I didn't attend the UNISEC meeting just to go and, how do you say, just to have fun, although I had a lot of fun. Another nice part was of with the mission idea contest, which Richard will be talking more about it for the next one, as I think he was the winner of the first mission idea contest. So as a student, that was also a nice way to participate in a competition where everybody is working on the same concept, but from different universities, different backgrounds, different cultures and countries. So then we were able to interact with different opinions and then being judged by judged not in a bad way, but reviewed by different professors with respect to our project. It wasn't about to shut down your project, but it was about the missing points and then how you can improve. So as a student, this was a nice opportunity to learn from multiple people at the same time in the location so that they were able to support and then give you direct feedback. Still, with the other UNISEC meetings, every time we go, besides from the meeting itself, if you have other questions about our satellites or if I have a problem, I can just go and talk to other people. This can be a student, staff, or anyone, and then ask how they solved it. I think one little issue, not an issue, as students, we weren't that active. Saying we as in the Turkish part. I regret this, but I also blame this partially on the heavy load that we had to finish the satellites every time we do it. And I see COVID as a partial pause for the UNISEC-Global. That was a challenging time, so it slowed us down a bit, in my opinion, for the community. But we were able to recover, and I still remember the UNISEC-Global meeting after the COVID, and we were just still talking and then being in touch, just like nothing happened, and then carrying it on for the next meetings. So this is a photo from the last UNISEC-Global meeting. We were in Tokyo with most of the people, and now thanks to COVID initiative, we also have more people joining online and then just helping us to improve and then reach out to more people. The small detail that I see is that the space itself is big, but the community is small, and then number of people who knows about UNISEC is just increasing, but people are still skeptical about the UNISEC itself. They're like, oh, so what you guys are doing? I never heard of you, or like, so what? And kind of like response. And then my response is like, just be part of it, attend our meetings, and then you will see what we are doing. But the most important part is that I always give this example for the CubeSats. When the CubeSats first started, people were skeptical, and then most people didn't believe in them. Now we have deep space missions with CubeSats. And I think same with the UNISEC or the Unison. We will also have like bigger missions or constellations or bigger impact in the society and in the space world. So as I said, just to wrap it up, it's like a big family dinner. You talk and joke with everyone. And we met as students with some of the colleagues, and we are still in touch, even if we talk once a year. And then it helps you to solve a problem, asking for advice or help, making projects together. And then in general, what I see is that for the future, that we should do it together. But I think Unison can play a bigger role in this, because if you initiate this while you're a student, you have a longer time to actually make a bigger change. So as I said, COVID slowed down the progress a little, but we can recover easily, and we have. And I believe that the current Unison is way more active than we were. So this is not a task or a homework that I'm asking you to do, but what I believe is that you should work on a UNISEC constellation mission. I don't care where it is, around Mars, around Moon, around the Earth, but just to start working on this and making it accessible for everyone. And this accessibility can be by building a satellite, building a subsystem, or receiving a piece of code from a country which they cannot afford only say satellite or a subsystem, but they still would like to contribute. So then we make sure that everybody who's part of UNISEC has something from themselves which contributes to the project itself. So yeah, this is my presentation.